Is it rare for Sony to actually admit when they've been beaten and bettered by Microsoft? I think it is kind of rare, but is it also maybe a bit of a show? Let's just be real. This whole political landscape that we're living in, the whole idea of the Activision deal, Call of Duty, Microsoft, Sony, Microsoft saying they've lost the console war, this, that, and the other thing, saying that nobody, they're in third place and they can't do it. And then you have Jim Ryan get on the stand and say that there's just as much demand for Xbox Series X and S as there is for PS5, which is clearly nonsense, to be quite honest with you. But again, it's something that he's going to say to protect his own self-interest. And again, when we look at exactly what's going on, Jim Ryan did the interview. He got interviewed and asked questions for the FTC. Microsoft cross-examined him, which was much tougher on him, and this was absolutely fascinating, to say the least. Now, listen to this. It's funny to me because Jim Ryan really helped Microsoft in a lot of ways, and I'm going to kind of get into some of the ways that he actually helped. Again, this is very interesting because it's pretty unbelievable, to be honest with you. So, again, Jim Ryan has admitted for a fact that he doesn't think Microsoft will take Call of Duty away from PlayStation. The thing that he's worried about, and this is his own words, basically what happened was he was worried that Call of Duty would go into Game Pass day one. So Ryan asked by the FTC lawyer if he has proof of Activision games being pulled or foreclosed from PlayStation. He says, "I believe the stance Microsoft has taken with regard to subscription service pricing is evidence at best of partial foreclosure." And then he was asked about cloud gaming technology and will it become a meaningful component of how gamers access games between 2025 and 2035. And he says he has no way of knowing when that will happen, but suggested it would be so, which is would completely destroy both the FTC and the CMA's argument about these things. So basically what happens is he says he thinks Xbox games will do better in the US. He basically said many of the games involve the element of shooting and many of the games involve elements of online multiplayer, which are typically both more popular in the US. And he said that he had expected Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 to launch on PlayStation prior to ZeniMax games having been purchased. And he confirmed ZeniMax's Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo's were timed PlayStation exclusives that they paid for. And he's talking about how Sony collaborated with outside development partners, including Activision, in development tech for PS5. Specifically says Activision helped with PS5 haptic controllers. And he says he couldn't share such advanced info and if Microsoft bought Activision. He says that Microsoft buying Activision diminishes innovation. He says it's confusing because it's unclear that Activision's contribution to PS5's formation is greater than, say, Bungie's to Xbox advances. Case hasn't been made. Ryan is asked why this risk can't be resolved via a contract. Ryan, a risk of hardware secrets getting out to competitor is too great. Ryan basically got cooked pretty hardcore by Microsoft's lawyer. Ryan says he has no problem with exclusives as a differentiating factor. Did he mind Redfall when exclusive? He says he doesn't like it, but he fundamentally has no quarrel with it. Starfield, he doesn't like it, but he doesn't view it as anti-competitive. Asked about being approached by Bobby Kotick in February 23, meeting with European Commission over the deal. Kotick offered to negotiate. Ryan responded he wanted regulators to do their job and block it. So he's not interested in any kind of deals or anything like that. What he's looking for is for the deal to be completely blocked because he doesn't want Microsoft to put these games into Game Pass. He went on a tirade about how he's talked to all these developers who hate Game Pass and blah, blah, blah. But if that were the case, then people wouldn't be putting their games into Game Pass. So I look at this and I go, Jim Ryan is pretty much full of it at this particular point. It's very interesting to me to see how this has kind of come apart. Again, Jim Ryan also helped out because Ryan said Nintendo's in the console market, but not Sony's direct competitor, and he stated it's his opinion that Nintendo audience enjoys Mario, Zelda, but not Call of Duty, but stresses that it's just his opinion, quote unquote. Confirmed various titles are AAA, including Final Fantasy 16, and that it's a title where Sony, quote unquote, foreclosed on Xbox. So again, he's really helping Microsoft's case. And Ryan also said he was extremely confident that Call of Duty would remain on their platform. Microsoft's lawyer, getting back to Ryan's January 22 email, saying we'll be okay, more than okay. But Jim Ryan tried to downplay the importance of the email because it was within 24 hours of the announcement. But obviously he's been in the gaming industry for decades, and so, I don't think anybody is buying this. So basically what we're getting is he's extremely worried about Xbox Game Pass. That's literally what this all comes down to. He's terrified of Xbox Game Pass. And, I can understand why. Because, it does cut into the profit margin. You have to understand that basically what you have to do is you're sort of stuck in this situation where you have to grow it for a while. And then when you do grow it, there's various instances where, you might lose some money right away, or it's like you're not getting that big influx of money right away like you normally would. And I think that is something that is, I would say, impactful to them, because they don't want to go through the idea of sort of losing, all that, which what they have already, right? Like, that's the thing that I think people have to understand, is they really don't want to go through and lose what they have and end up having a situation where, possibly it looks bad to their investors and things like that. I don't think I'll ever understand their point, because to me, honestly, it just feels like what Microsoft is doing is very much friendly for gamers and friendly for developers, and Microsoft has time and again proven that they are, kind of for the players, and Sony has once again kind of proven that they're, not for the players. So this is a very interesting thing. I feel like Jim Ryan got absolutely cooked on this deal, and it's so interesting to see everybody kind of talk about this. But yeah, it's, Microsoft, I think, did a phenomenal job with the cross-examination, and Jim Ryan actually didn't do himself any favors when it comes to this stuff. So yeah, I hope that this is something that we can see more of in the future, where we get the truth out of these people for a change. It's going to be super interesting to see what happens. I for sure am interested in seeing what happens. It's going to be, incredible to see what the future holds. But yeah, Jim Ryan, I think, helped Microsoft's cause more than hurt anything here. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Rack them up. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews. Crap Gamer out.